ఆర్థిక మంత్రి నిర్మలా సీతారామన్ బడ్జెట్ ప్రవేశపెట్టిన అనంతరం మీడియాతో మాట్లాడుతున్నారు. లైవ్లో చూద్దాం.
Sprucing up and also cleaning up and weeding out problems of that particular asset will be through an open process. Attract asset reconstruction companies which can come and bid for those assets. Even at that stage, after some haircut obviously, banks will get some money back to those NPAs for which they only kept provisioning for the NPA but didn't have the wherewithal to dispose them off legitimately. So we are giving that comfort to the banks. And also for funding the infrastructural requirements, a development finance institution is being brought in. All lessons learned from the IDBI, which started as a DFI but later went on to become a scheduled commercial bank-like functioning and couldn't succeed at that, are taken on board. So this DFI, even as it comes with about a 20,000 crore given by the government, which with a little more every now and then added, will eventually be used for raising about 5 lakh crores in a matter of next 3, 4, 5 years, is a formulation where when the law gets passed on that, we will still have an opportunity for the private sector also to set up their own development finance institution. So this country is not going to be, the needs of this country are such that just one development financial institution which is set up by the government will be adequately meeting up with the demand requirements. No, and therefore we see a future for a DFI which is partly funded by the government and raises capital from the market, is also competing with private sector DFIs. Largely this much, but very quickly I'll move over to talking about how we have not lost the opportunity to clean up government's own books. I had started it in July 2019-20, continued it in February 20, and even now we have made accounts more transparent. Nothing is pushed under the carpet. You're showing clearly where's the money going. Money given to FCI is also brought on board. So accounting of government expenditure and revenue statements are all now lots more transparent and open, and absolutely upfront stated the fiscal deficit, where everybody was advising, and rightly because everyone had concern that the economy should revive, advising us, please spend more. We not only ensured that capital expenditure of the government was repeatedly reviewed and spending was encouraged and pushed, we ensured that the spending will not get delayed, and that is why even though we announced one capital expenditure amount during the BE, even that has gone up, that in the RE I had to make additional provisions for it. With that in mind, we have also increased the spending in the forthcoming year. As a result, borrowing increased. Our fiscal deficit, which started at 3.5 during February 2020, has gone to 9.5% of the GDP. So we have spent, and we have spent. Otherwise, your fiscal deficit wouldn't have reached this number. But does that mean that we are going to show it and forget it? We've also given a clear glide path for deficit management and bringing it down. The Finance Commission has also been suggesting that we should be giving a glide path. We have given our glide path, I think, which broadly explains where we are, broadly gives you a broad picture. Specific items are also there about which we can expand, but I suppose in response to your questions. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. 6.
Ma'am, you rightly said that the glide path has been mentioned, and you did lay it out that over the next 5 years we might see the fiscal deficit coming down. But how hopeful are you with the current expenditure roadmap that you have given, that the fiscal deficit for the next year will be contained in that particular figure of 6.8%, because the borrowing number also again continues to be quite high. And what gives you confidence in terms of job creation? That is what people have been wanting to hear from you, because a lot of people in the pandemic lost their jobs and they are yet to get back their jobs.
Haven't we announced an incentive scheme for people to join back and people to take their jobs back, for employers to take employees who were thrown out, to bring them back and have some money paid from the government for their EPFO and so on? So we have worked out a scheme, and that scheme will run for the course of I think till about next year, June. We've allowed people to get all those people who they threw out of their jobs to be back in the job, for whom we will pay the EPO for 2 years. So we have given an incentive for people to take them back.
That's the next question. I think let the next question be moved to the next person. 31.
लक्ष्मण बोल रहा हूँ CN
I-
1 minute, 1 minute.
You asked a question on the deficit, whether we'll be able to contain ourselves in 6.8% or not. If you notice our revenue figures for this time, the revenue figures, if anything, are understated and not overstated. Because otherwise, by this time, all of you would have been coming out and telling us that we won't be able to achieve. So we have taken our nominal GDP 14.4% and the revenues at 16.7. So the buoyancy is only 1.16. We are hopeful that we will be able to get more than this and also achieve more in the other areas of non-tax revenue and the disinvestment. And we will definitely be within 6.8 and could be lower also.
Just to add on the job creation, the significant increase in outlay for infrastructure that ma'am has done will also have a sharp impact on job creation, especially in the informal sector, because construction activity actually creates both positive and negative, spillovers, basic linkages, and thereby job creation in the informal sector.
मैम मैं है कि से पहले हर ये का एस्टैब्लिश ज़्यादा से ज़्यादा डिमांड पैदा की आम लोगों से, जो सेविंग है वह करने के में ऐसे ये डिमांड पैदा कर सकती है आपके हिसाब से, क्योंकि जो इंफ्रा पे खर्च करने की बात है या दूसरी चीज़ें, उसमें लॉन्ग टर्म डिमांड आएगी, लेकिन इमीडिएट डिमांड आए उसके लिए आपके हिसाब से कौन से प्रावधान किए गए?
No, that's not true. Infrastructure project may take long time to complete, but the demand creation will happen immediately, because as the work starts happening in the ground, people are going to get wages, orders are going to be booked for core commodities, for building of those assets. So demand generation happens immediately. The project completion may happen later.
Number 10.
मैम मैं मोनिका जी मीडिया से। मैम मेरा सवाल है कि कोविड और
రైట్ నిర్మలా సీతారామన్ ఇప్పటివరకు మీడియాతో మాట్లాడడం చూసాము. ఇవి ఇప్పటివరకు అప్డేట్స్. కీప్ వాచింగ్ 99.